The Roundtable is powered by Patreon, including supporters such as Lunar Hourglass, who is launching their new channel, Cosmobites, an art channel focused on interaction and community, drawing OCs, a mini-series focused on Spinel, and more. Give them a click, a subscription, and tell them Roundtable sent ya. Link in the description. If you want a shout out on the Roundtable, consider supporting us over on Patreon. Shoutouts are our highest tier. Now on to the video. Welcome back to the Roundtable! I'm Ostrich Vox, and now that the Owl House is 3 episodes in, the time has finally arrived to craft and speculate game-changing theories. Things that could recontextualize the series. Which is weird to say because we're still getting adjusted to this world. Not only are we still learning a lot, but we're still being introduced to a slew of new characters. But that hasn't stopped my brain from going all crazy. So although Owl House theories aren't anything new to this channel, I do want to commence my first theory with context from the series by examining our lead character, Luz Noceda, and her very peculiar situation. Her idea of Summer transforming from a boring camp that's gonna teach her how to be completely normal to an insane roller coaster of magic and mayhem, exploring depths unknown, and certainly at some point she's going to unravel some kind of huge mystery. But was Luz really brought to the Owl House by happenstance? Was it really a coincidence Ida's owl brought Luz to the demon realm? Or was it just the first step of a much bigger plan? Is it possible that Luz has some sort of family in the demon realm? Family that has associated with Ida in the past and may continue to in private. And although Luz may not be the chosen one, is her training under Ida the Owl Lady actually still the first phase of her achieving what could be argued to be a magical destiny? Perhaps not a save the world type destiny, but just a destiny to be a great witch. Well, let's run through all the potential clues and try to piece together what exactly is going on. Of course, spoiler warning, if you do not want to know any potential future plot lines of the Owl House or any hints that could go into a different direction, please click off now. With all that said, let's dive in. Now I do feel as if the best place to start is Luz being brought to the demon realm. Ida has the ability to forge a gateway between the demon realm and the mortal realm, or Earth, seemingly wherever she pleases, whenever she pleases. However, Ida also seems like the person to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. She does seem to have spurts of laziness, and I don't think bringing Luz to the Owl House would be any exception. Come on, Luz being whisked away right before she was supposed to go to summer camp, that feels like a little bit too much of a coincidence. And if Ida is able to construct gateways to the human world whenever she desires, it's possible she could have had her eye on Luz for quite a while. While her owl gathering up human belongings for her yard sale does seem like something she would have done either way, something we do have to consider is the location. Because Ida's work ethic does seem to be, let's get this done quickly, I don't believe she would have just taken a shot in the dark, setting up a gateway anywhere to the mortal realm. I think she would have chose precise locations, areas that she's familiar with in some way, shape, or form, which, connection to family or not, could have been how she grew aware of Luz in the first place. And when the time for Luz to go to summer camp arrived, she did instruct her owl to steal human parnelia, but instructed the theft of one of Luz's belongings in particular, knowing that it would have ultimately brought her to the Owl House. Ida is smart and likely a master of manipulation, so I can't picture her just throwing up portals, knowing the risk of a situation like Luz happening. And although we are 3 episodes in, what are the odds that we're gonna see Ida pull a stunt like this again? I can see her yard selling for sure, but I feel as if we do see this again, next time, it'll be in a location where minimal kids can run through. And Luz herself might get very curious. Wait, why did Ida choose that particular location? In fact, episode 2 already saw her question why she was brought to the Owl House in the first place. Ida at the end of the episode dismisses the notion that Luz was brought here for a greater purpose. At least in terms of being the chosen one. Out of the millions of people on Earth, Luz is the one that's going to ascend to greatness. You'd think that would throw a wrench in this theory, but again, I'm not saying Luz is going to be the chosen one, the person meant to change everything. I'm just saying that Ida did bring her to the demon realm for a particular purpose, even if it's not a greater purpose. But all of this just goes along with the idea that Luz being pulled into the demon realm was intentional. I haven't said anything that drives home the idea that she has family in the demon realm. And this is where I want to shift gears. First off, Luz's behavior and personality. From what we've seen so far, Luz is nothing like her mother. Luz is spontaneous, rebellious, impulsive, and she does have a huge creative imagination. Yet, her mother discourages all these quirks that make Luz who she is. and all we saw of Luz's family so far is her mother. So, where is her dad? I do believe children taking after their parents, especially when they grow older, is something that holds true in real life, whether if we realize it or not. So far, the parent that Luz could potentially take after is missing in action. That in itself could be a red flag. Maybe red flag's too extreme, I don't know. If it's a good thing for this theory, then green flag? Yeah, green flag. I really hope the term green flag does not have some kind of horrible connotation to it. But 3 episodes in, the show has hinted that Luz is not the only human in the demon realm, something that for sure would be a major plot point. In order to retrieve King's crown, Luz has to penetrate a barrier that only humans can go through. Which is interesting once you consider that Ida herself doesn't treat anything in the Conformatorium as her first rodeo. If anything, the experience for her, up until the Warden's confrontation, seems to be going by the numbers. And of course, while the depiction of the human that's shown while Ida describes the Conformatorium could just be a generic fantasy-esque character, it could also be a human that Ida has encountered in the past. Not to mention, Ida was quick to discern Luz as a human. It took no moment of thinking, no hesitation. She wasn't even really surprised that Luz ran through the door. It's as if Ida is familiar with humans and fully anticipated a human to run through her door. With Gus and Willow, it took a moment to realize that Luz was a human, although it seems as if the distinctive feature is nothing more than the years. However, on a separate occasion, when Luz questions King's knowledge of humans, King remarks that Luz is the only human he's ever seen. I think if anything, beyond addressing this question to the audience and having us think and making crazy conspiracy videos on the internet, it establishes that if Ida does know another human, then she's keeping King out of the loop. And interestingly enough, Ida did assign King to run errands with Luz. King even complains about having to go. It's as if this was an unusual assignment for him, but maybe if Ida is in contact with another human, one that has a connection with Luz, then the witch simply had to have some kind of call and fill him in. Yeah, she's doing great already, there's a lot of work ahead of us, but I definitely think I can work with her. Now for one last dose of I'm not crazy, guys please, I promise, I swear, instead of freelancing us, Disney Channel has crafted their own Owl House post show. Hosted by 2 owls whose names escape me, we can assume the writing of this post show can be a bit on the nose for the audience to understand, considering this post show would have been written with the access to other episodes. For all we know, considering this was made by Disney, they likely are already aware of how the season ends and any future developments. I mention all this because in the first installment of said Owl Post show, the owls themselves question why Luz was brought to the demon realm, and that the owl that brought her here is by Ida's side at every moment, as the owl is literally a part of her staff. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't draw attention to a question like that in official Disney media if it wasn't meant to go anywhere. With all of that out in the open, I have one last piece for this argument. Obviously, Luz is staying in the Owl House to be trained by Ida, but Luz was eager to attend Hexside School of Magic, something that Ida was not only opposed to, but broke her heart to see in person. While this could be a matter of Ida's pride and ego, it could be one of those things with sadder, deeper implications. Like if Ida did promise a relative of Luz to train her in magic, of course she would feel as if she's disappointing them. How can she be doing good on her word if Luz is finding education elsewhere? Just food for thought. Ultimately, if I had to put a fleshed out statement into the world saying this is my current Owl House theory, it's that there definitely is another human in the demon realm, and they do have ties to Luz, not by coincidence. We already know Ida has a bounty on her head. We know Ida has many enemies, and that she's gotten down to many shenanigans. I could easily see a relative of Luz, whether it be a father, uncle, or even multiple relatives, somehow finding their way into the demon realm, finding it as a place where they belong, and getting into all sorts of mischievous mayhem with Ida. Perhaps something happened to this relative. Maybe they're embarking on a great mission and need backup. And being aware of Luz's potential before they vanish into the demon realm, they may not just a plea, but a pact with Ida to bring Luz here. Not just to help her be in an environment where she truly belongs, but to seek her aid in saving the day. But of course, there could always be a catch. Maybe it'll help some people but hurt others, putting Luz at a crossroad. Whatever the case may be, I would love to see it unfold. But who knows, maybe I'm just crazy. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. Could Ida be hiding anything? Could Luz have greater origin than what she currently believes? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at OstricVox. We're also on Instagram. Help Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please throw it a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching and I hope you have an awesome day. OstricVox signing out.